put some stickers on the side. So she came in and she looked around and she said, well, you look maybe a little small. I said, well, you're only going to build stores one at a time. We'll keep up. I promise you that we'll keep up. And so she gave us the opportunity, and that was a big change for us because then we just started growing with them. And they went from one location to 845 that we were supporting in Northern California. And they, up until 6 months ago, and then 6 months ago, now they've switched. It's a national model. We don't bake fresh anymore. Everything goes nationwide. So we bake fewer items, but they go nationwide, and we've made that transition with them. And then in addition, we'll go through this. So there was the next facility, and that was in Redwood City that we moved into. It was a pita bread bakery that had also gone out of business, and so we followed them over there. It seemed to be the term of following people that gone out of business, but then ovens were there, sinks, everything. And we were only there about 2.5 years because at that point, Starbucks was opening about 5 locations a week, and so it was moving really quickly. And then we moved to a location in Menlo Park, and we were there for 12 years. We were there a long time. It was 20,000 square feet, and that's where I met Nicole. She used to come and give everybody chair massages, and while she was putting herself through school. And we had a lot of changes got there. There was a delivery fleet at one point. No longer. Now it's only semis, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately. And then 2.5 years ago, we finally found a location. This time it was Nancy's Quiches. And they had gotten, there's always something. They had gotten bought out by Heinz, the ketchup people, and they didn't want to operate a plant in California because it's just, California is a challenge. And so the building was 10 years old, which is very new for a commercial building, and it had great bones, and we were able to remodel it, and then we just this week, the certification got complete for Platinum LEED, and so we're the first bakery in the U.S. that commercial bakery in the U.S. that's LEED certified. So we had done this So some of what we do. Most of our equipment comes from Europe. It's kind of innovative and put it together in ways that other places aren't doing it. And then here's a few of our products we're doing through there. And so now we support grocery stores. We do a lot for Whole Foods. Not only we have some retail now, we also do a lot of their private label baking. So we'll do things and then put their label on it. We do a lot of their back baking, I would call it. So we'll make the raw dough, the croissants or the cookies or the muffin batter, and then they bake it on site. So it's kind of a combination. It takes some of the work out for them, but allows them to bake fresh out of the oven because there's nothing better than fresh out of the oven. And sort of my lament is that, yeah, the morning buns are okay now. They're amazing when they come out of the oven. The warm, the butter's melting, and crispy on the outside, and tender on the inside, and so it's hard. It's really hard to see them like a day later. Than a lot of what we do now. The bigger companies, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, everybody wants frozen product, and you go and you think that the product that's on the shelf is fresh. None of it is. None of it is. Sorry to blow that myth. But that's how they want to do. They want to be able to distribute it throughout their system. And so that's how it can happen is you blast freeze it, and then it goes to them frozen. They keep it frozen, and then every day they pull some out. So it's kind of like the fish story where it's, would you rather have a fish that was blast frozen, moments after it was caught, or a fish that's 5 days old? It's a means to an end, and that's part of this. How the whole debate now on local and sustainable and yet, that's not the economic model that so much of this country works on. And so, how do you have this internal debate all the time? Like, how do you rationalize that and go through? So that's our challenge. We're working to fill up our new space. We have empty oven time, which is never good. And so we're working. We've hired some new sales team, and they're working to develop other large accounts and get our products out there more. So thank you very much for letting me share.
Wow, that was really great. Really, never follow someone really funny. So how many of you heard me speak before or a student of mine? Wow. Wow. Now I know you're not, I'm impressed that these guys are here. Really impressed. Were you in my Women in Leadership class?
No. I was in your Boomer class.
Oh, good. Okay. I hope you're writing a plan for next Friday. Okay. So I'm Mary Furlong, and so I apologize to all of you that may have heard parts of the story. I'll try to mix it up and not be so repetitive. And when I grew up, we didn't have things like MBA Women in Leadership events. You know, you had to be a teacher, a librarian, and if you were really thin and spoke another language, you got to be a Pan Am flight attendant. Which was quite glamorous. This is true, right? Yeah, it's true. Now, many of those Pan Am flight attendants became entrepreneurs because Pan Am went out of business. And so that's why whenever you interview a flight attendant, they always have another business on the side because their pensions have been cut, unless it's JetBlue or Virgin Atlantic. So anyway, so my father said you have to be a teacher, and he was an entrepreneur. So the deal was every summer we'd go to Virginia. I was in Richmond this week. You could buy a condo there for $120,000 with a view of the river that's brand new. And the Excella train is going from Richmond to Washington. So I tend to invest early in things that I think are important. And I think Richmond's one to watch, you know. I maybe be there. If they have a sysop and a wine bar in the future, that sounds like a good deal to me. Especially since we may have needed gas masks in Washington this week. So actually ask someone, you know. It was pretty tense there. So anyway, I learned about building community from my grandmother. And what you all have done here today, Nicole and Adeline and all of you organizing this, you're building a sense of community. And so in Virginia, on the front porch, there was this, we'd sit out there with the funeral fans in the humid air, and we'd connect with each other. Now, this would be unlike California, where we drive through for a caffeino and a muffin, because we don't do that here. And so my father taught me to be an entrepreneur, and my mother taught me to build a sense of community. Now, when this came together, really it was my maternal grandmother, and when this came together, I was a young professor, just needing to publish so I could have a professor's hours. Now you see what professor's hours are really like. We're always on, I think. And so a colleague stopped me and said, would you like to write a book called Computers for Kids Over 60? Well, my whole intention was just publishing. I just wanted to meet that goal of writing the book. So I said, sure, we'll write the book, I'll get published, I'll get tenure, that's my goal. So we put these Commodore VIC-20 computers and 300 baud modems in the back of a non-air-conditioned Honda with lemonade and cookies. There's maybe a theme to this panel. And we went around to senior centers, and we went to ARP, and people took our classes. And unlike most of my graduate students, except for Jeannie's class, people came back to take the class again and again and again. Now, some of the students were 70, and some were 80, and one was 102, and she said, I can't see and I can't hear, but I love what you're doing. So if you can't see and you can't hear, how the hell do you know what we're doing? But anyway, what they felt was older people, the issue and the vision was not about older people learning about technology, because right then, Steve Jobs was putting a computer in every classroom. It was about the reinstantiation of the role of older people as leaders in society, empowered with the technology. Now, it turned out one of the killer apps before social media and Facebook, and 55 plus is the fastest growing part of Facebook, is, and I have to find out what YouNoodle is tonight. Everybody sent me a note and said, we're all on YouNoodle. And I said, oh, news to me what YouNoodle is.